Chandler. This is Cosmic Layla from the Cosmiks. How's your day so far?
Well, so far it's okay. Could go wrong any second, though.
Oh, right, exactly. I just have some questions for you for the CLCI Webzine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So is Chandler Travis your full name, or is it a stage name?
Well, let's see. Chandler is my middle name. My first name is Peter.
Oh, really?
Other than that, it's legit.
I'm sorry, why'd you say that last one?
I just said other than that, it's legit. So my full name is Peter Chandler Travis.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I didn't know that. Okay.
Hardly anyone does, and I hope you won't. You'll keep my secret.
Okay. So how did you get started in music?
Let's see. By listening to it, I guess. I guess I grew up in a house where music was played. My folks were, had records and stuff. And records I loved even before I loved music, I think. I just loved those little discs.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Did you, listen to a lot of, vinyl records and stuff like that, or, in the old days?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, vinyl records from the old days, exactly. Yeah, Broadway shows and Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald and stuff like that.
Wow, man, that's cool. Okay, so I have a few George Carlin questions. Okay, are you ready? Okay. Do you have a story to tell about experiences touring with George Carlin and working on the George Carlin Show?
Well, let me see. That encompasses the 30 years of touring and stuff. So it's how can I get to a single story? Once we were in an elevator with George in Miami, and Dinah Shore also was on the elevator. George was doing the Dinah Shore show, and our road manager tried to get Dinah to say Dix, and was thrown out of the elevator, and George liked that a lot.
Wow, that's a great story. Do you have any others, or is that the only one that comes to mind?
Oh, I'm sure there's zillions of them, but it's I don't know. You see, it's hard to know where to start there.
Okay, well that's fine.
I got another one for you.
Oh, okay.
Once went fishing with George on a houseboat in the Thousand Lakes region of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And one night we decided to have, it may have even been July 4th, I'm not sure. It probably was, though, because normally we don't bring fireworks everywhere we go. So, but we brought a bunch of fireworks, and we went on the shore and put a couple of fireworks in a couple of bottles.
I see.
And a couple of the guys were standing on the sort of around the edge of the boat, looking at the fireworks show, and then one of the bottles tipped over and aimed directly at the boat.
Oh my goodness!
At a point when, once again, George's road manager was peeing, and it was a lot of fun to see. It was sort of like the fireworks scene inside the building of In a Shot of the Dark, the Pink Panther movie. It was just watching people scatter. It was great.
Oh wow! Yeah, I remember that movie. Yep, that's a great story. Was
a little bit like that.
Yeah, I see. Was it difficult to work with George at all?
No, he was very easy to work with. He was a very nice fellow and a wonderful patron for us, and a guy who just spoke English and didn't have any problem being a normal guy.
Oh wow, that's cool.
He was also very, very gracious and seemed to actually like what we were doing. We were both record collectors, so we got along on that basis as well, and had a lot in common.
Oh, well, that's great, yeah. So is it true that George Carlin did a cameo on your 2007 album Tarnation and Alistair Sim, also known as Kitty?
Yes, it is. Yes, we were doing a song called Fluffy, which was sort of an anarchic kind of a song. Had a lot of chaos in it, and we needed, I think, maybe a particular amount, like maybe 1 minute and 46 seconds or something like that, of one guy just going crazy. It was just chaos. It wasn't words really. It was more like scat singing, but more avant-garde, perhaps.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's some of the best stuff right there.
Yes, and George did a few takes of that, and I always liked thinking about him, him in his office and wondering what his cleaning lady must have been thinking, hearing these sounds emerge from the other room. But I know he enjoyed doing it, and he did a wonderful job, of course.
Oh, yeah. That's some of the best stuff right there, that avant-garde, the stuff that doesn't, come through any genre or, any kind of, description. It's like, you just feel it,
Well, it was fun having George do it because George, of course, was such a verbal guy, right? I mean, he was just a master wordsmith.
Oh, definitely.
So to have him do, a minute and a half of stuff with no words was, I think, great fun for both of us.
Wow, that's terrific. It's well known that George had Irish Catholic roots. Are you Irish, or what's your ethnicity?
No.
No,
I'm neither Irish nor Catholic.
Okay, so but what's your ethnicity like? Are you genealogically more, Northern Europe?
I'm a wasp.
You're a what?
I'm a wasp. Yeah, just a white guy of unknown origin.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
I'm sure I'm a mutt of some kind.
Oh, definitely. Yep. That's definitely true. Okay. Do you consider yourself more a comedian or a musician?
I'm more a musician.
Oh.
I have done some, I did a couple of years as a doing more or less some version of stand-up comedy, or at least doing it in those kind of places. But I've always considered myself more of a musician.
Oh, I see. Is it really a buttercup world, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. Sure, look at it.
That's one of my favorite songs, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Where did you hear that one?
Actually, I heard that from the George Carlin Show.
Okay.
Yeah, because he did that little bit with the guy that he took in his house, and he was like as an old songwriter, and he came up with that song Buttercup World, and there's also a question later on that's related to that in a minute.
We loved that. That whole episode was from us, actually. We used to have a really facetious band called the Cocos that was just way too happy in this ridiculous band. And they had a bunch of songs, and one of the songs was "It's a Buttercup World."
Wow.
And so it was great when those guys did that. It was really fun.
That's amazing. What are some of your favorite Chandler Travis songs?
Well, around this time of year, I like "If We Can Just Make It Through Christmas." There's a bunch of Christmas material that's frequently hits the spot. Christmas and Asshole is another one.
Okay.
But there's we got a few of them. If you go to CLCI.com, you'll find way too much Christmas music. But there's I don't know where to start. There's a lot of songs, many hundred songs.
I see. Well, some of my favorites come off of the "You Must Come Over Tonight" album.
Oh, no kidding! How'd you end up with that one?
Well, believe it or not, we've actually spoken before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Cosmiks. You were speaking to Dan at the time. He's our guitar player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the bass player.
Huh. Oh, okay. I was sort of wondering how this all happened. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that the album that you mentioned, which is I think called "Won't You Come Over Tonight."
Yeah, you must.
It's from a very obscure series where we did a series of albums we put out a new album every 2 weeks in the year 2000.
I see. Well,
and that was one of those.
I see. Well, actually,
it's just self-burnt. It wasn't widely distributed.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, the way we ended up with it is that you sent it to us after we also sent you our album, The Killer Video from Space. And yes.
No kidding. Well, I would try and look this stuff up. My stuff has all been moved now. Most of it's in storage, but that would probably refresh my memory if I could get to it.
We got the Chandler Travis actual autographed copy. So I mean, it's got to be a collector's item, right?
Oh, I didn't write my real name on it, did I?
I think you abbreviated.
Yeah, I rarely have. Usually I make up some. I used to sign things. For a long time I signed everything Jerry Hitler. And then, what else was, there's other names that I've, Cambridge Jarvis, I used that for a long time. You try and come up with something special.
All right, yeah, that's always a good idea. Okay, so next question is, what's the real reason they call Boston Beantown?
Well, weren't baked beans supposed to come from Boston?
I've heard that,
That was it. I think it's got something to do with baked beans. I don't know. That's my best guess. I know that's not very amusing, but that's about all I can come up with there.
Okay, well that sounds amusing to me. What are
Go with baked beans.
Okay. What are the demographics you have in your bands versus the demographics you have in your audience?
The band's older.
Oh yeah. So
probably. I don't know. We're getting a little long in the tooth, like.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've been.
Yeah. So but I don't know. Our audience is getting older too. So, I don't know. It's a race to the grave. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Well, what you gotta do is you gotta dig it while you're around.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Have you heard the new album? Have you heard Waving Kissy Head yet?
Not yet. I have been. I noticed that you have Volume 1 and 2 is coming out later. I heard about that.
Yeah. Well, they're both available now. Between you and me, they are. Actually, the official release date is until February 10th. But we do have them, and they. I think you can. I know you can hear Volume 1 online. I think maybe you can hear some of the rest of it. Although I could be wrong about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll definitely check that out. Okay. Next question. Is the Dixieland style in your music a fetish, or?
I don't know how you define. I'm not sure how you define fetish. I think it's certainly an interest.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of liked the chaotic approach of Dixieland, and I was surprised that it hadn't been used in rock and roll before, because rock and roll is sometimes a chaotic sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was fun to just have everybody blow at one time and not to have any rules about what they're doing, but have them all do it together.
Well, yeah.
Plus, it seems like there's a lot of rock and roll horn writing is so boring.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's one of those things that guitar bands do when they get really bored. They'll just have they'll add horns for no particular reason, and the horn parts are usually really boring.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to go against that grain.
Yeah, well,
I guess you'd say.
Yeah, well, that definitely that makes it very unique and something very special. So I can't think of any other bands that do that basically. So
no, not catching on at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No one's picking up the baton there.
Right.
But that's okay. We love fooling around with the baton.
Yeah. Well, good.
By the way, did you know that we've also made a promotional nose balm?
No, I didn't know that.
To promote our new album, Waving Kissy Head, we have Waving Kissy Head promotional nose balm.
That's an original idea.
Yeah. We have little tubes of it, and it says Waving Kissy Head nose balm, and it's our slogan is, "It's your nose. Shouldn't it be shinier?"
That's good. That'd be good for the cold weather, right?
Yeah, we're trying to keep everybody awake anyway.
Right. Okay. The next question is, how many Chandler Travis solo albums have you produced so far?
Chandler Travis, just a Chandler Travis album?
Yeah, the solo ones.
Yes, but the solo one would be something with just my name on it, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you would say, what would it be? 1, 2, 3 or 4 as far as widely released ones, and then another 2 or 3, I think, from the Radio Ball series. Something like that.
I see.
Something in that ballpark.
I see. Yeah, I find those the most interesting because you have a particular style even apart from the other the bands that you play with. So.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different styles going on from band to band and from one album to another, I hope.
Absolutely. So do you write all of your own lyrics, or do you have a ghostwriter?
Well, I don't know if he's a ghost. I work very frequently with a guy named David Greenberger. I don't know if he may take umbrage at the term ghostwriter, but I've worked with David for about 30 years, and actually our last album for Waving Kissy Head was an album called Bhakti and Bourbon, the comfortable songs of Chandler Travis and David Greenberger. So that's that used about maybe half of the songs that we've written together, and he's a wonderful lyricist. He wrote, do you know a song called You and Me Pushing Up Daisies, maybe?
Absolutely, yeah, that's definitely one of the hits.
From Ivan in Paris. Right, and then there's another one called Air Running Backwards from Ivan in Paris. Mm-hmm. That got re-recorded for Bhakti and Bourbon in an entirely different arrangement that's fun. So, yeah, David's wonderful.
Cool.
So, he wrote it, he writes, I write a lot of songs without him and a lot of songs with him, so.
Nice. Did you actually write a song called I'll Kill You All Tomorrow as featured on the George Carlin Show? And did you ever...
Yes, I did.
Go ahead.
I forgot they'd done that. That's great. Yeah, they probably did that on that same episode we were talking about.
Yes, they did. And that is such a hilarious...
Lucky guess.
Yeah, that is such a hilarious song.
That's a hell of a song. They don't write them like that anymore, do they?
No, I absolutely not. Were there more lyrics, or was it just the little spot that they used on the...
Well, it's been a long time since I've seen that episode, so I don't actually remember, but it's a fairly short song anyway, so they may have done the whole thing, I don't know.
I see. Did you ever perform it live at all, or just on the show there?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, we used to perform it with some frequency. Nowadays, it's an old song, and the comedy songs in particular tend to come and go more than the regular ones even, probably. So, although I think we did it once this year, but we used to do it more often than we do it now.
I see. Well, it seems a little more relevant nowadays in these modern times that we live in.
Yes, kind of prescient, I hope.
Okay. Are you always interested in big band stuff, or do you do like minimalism, like bass, drums, and guitar?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of stuff with bass, drums, and use more often two guitars. But I had a band called The Incredible Casuals that was basically a guitar band, and I have another band now called The Catbirds. It's again like a noisy electric rock and roll band.
Oh, that's nice. It's kind of like more like punk, like that. Yeah, more like or I don't know, the Replacements or NRBQ or something like that. But that's more my roots. It's like the Kinks and the Beatles and all those guys. Oh, definitely. Have you ever heard the band from Arkansas, Reagan's Polyp? And if so, what do you think of them?
No, but I kind of like the name. I haven't heard the Reagan's Polyp.
Yes, Reagan's Polyp from Arkansas.
No, I haven't heard them.
Oh my goodness! Well,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I'll have to send you a clip from them. They're a very interesting. They're actually just two guys from Arkansas, but they do some really outrageous. They call it horror noise rock, basically.
Yeah, there's another band I've been trying to get for one of these Christmas shows I'm doing called Ronald Reagan. That's one of them that's from Massachusetts, one of them from New York, and I'm always saying you're terrific.
Oh.
But I haven't gotten to witness it yet, but you might want to watch that for them.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll definitely check that out.
They're supposed to be good too. Yeah.
All right. Are you familiar with the Church of the Subgenius and Reverend Ivan Stang? And if so, what do you think of him?
The Church of the Subgenius. I think it's. Let me see. That's Friends of Bob and all that, isn't it?
Exactly.
Am I wrong about that?
No, you're exactly right. Bob Dobbs. Yeah.
Yeah. We did a show for something called Friends of Bob that was in Lafayette, Indiana, I think. And it's not the same as the Universalist Life Church. That's another thing. I'm an actual minister in the Universalist Life Church, and I've performed a bunch of weddings, which is really funny because I'm a total heathen.
Well, hey, I'm a prankster too.
People started to say that again.
I'm a prankster too, so fellow prankster at your service.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's interesting information too. I didn't know you're an actual minister. I mean, you seem to be able to, change like kind of like a chameleon, depending on, what crowd you're hanging with and stuff like that, just to, to put a prank on people, right?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's fun. But I mean, I think the main reason that I get asked to do weddings is because I can speak in complete sentences.
Yeah, I can see.
I assume that's. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. That's all I got for you.
That's a rare commodity these days, believe it or not.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Is it important to you to include humor in your music?
No. I enjoy including it frequently, but I also enjoy having none of it. I like writing depressing songs too.
Or just in between ones that aren't quite so funny, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you try and it's all about dynamics. So you like to do as many different things as you can, especially if you're a musician. You hear something odd and you go, "Wow, I wonder what that would be like to play." So, there's a lot of different things to do out there.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm totally interested in that. I don't like to dabble too much in even checking out what they're promoting these days, because it just sounds all samey. I mean, they're stuck in perpetual R&B and, perpetual, heavy metal or something. I don't know.
I don't even really know what's happening out there anymore in particular, but
that's good.
Every now and then you'll find something good. You never know.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's always been most of it's always been horrible. So it's always been a matter of searching through all the lousy crap and finding a couple of things that you like.
Oh yeah, definitely, and probably more times than none, you'll find the things that are really cool are not the things they're promoting.
Well, it's certainly true that a lot of the people that I like best are not particularly popular.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Yep. Okay. A couple of food related questions.
Okay.
Which do you prefer, eating out in restaurants or home cooking?
I like them both. I mean, I'll eat anything anywhere. I'm a human garbage disposal.
Okay. Okay. Do you think restaurant food can be trusted as far as food quality and health issues, i.e. carcinogens in your water or coffee?
I've always specialized in eating poison. I think that eating poison indemnifies you against getting poisoned. So I eat as many preservatives as I possibly can, and I eat things, plastic, and I also like to push the envelope when it comes to expiration dates. I think expiration dates are for sissies.
Okay, so you do not check.
And also, just because a food changes color or smell doesn't mean that it doesn't change to something that's interesting on some other level.
Well, no, that's true. Just think of penicillin, right?
Yeah, or stale Fritos. Sure, they're not as good as regular Fritos, but if you don't have regular Fritos,
Okay. All right. Are the Beatles one of your favorite groups? If so, which is your favorite Beatle and why?
Oh, God. Of course they are. Which is my favorite? It's really tough. Any of them except, even that, I was going to say any of them except Ringo. But Ringo is one of the greatest drummers of all time. So, I don't know. They're all fucking great. George had that wonderful sense of humor and made all those wonderful movies. Paul's still kicking and still sings like an amazing maniac, or like a bird. John was really no slouch. So, I don't know how you all pick a favorite out there.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with not being able to pick a favorite, because I agree that all the Beatles, they all have their different talents and their different amazing things they do, and so I mean, really, as a group, they're stronger than they are as they said they're stronger as a group than they are singularly.
Yeah, but they're a fairly good band.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think touring for musical groups is viable in today's world, or are they wasting their time?
Well, it's difficult for us because there's 8 or 9 of us, if you're talking about the Philharmonic. Somehow we've managed to do quite a bit of touring, but it's daunting when the music you're playing is basically unpop. It's hard to get a bunch of us old cabbies out there for a couple of weeks, and get paid. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. At least touring, you make some money, whereas it's impossible to make money off your recordings nowadays, unless you want to go out and sell them, by hand to people, pretty much. So
yeah, door to door, right?
So I think as viable as touring isn't, it's more viable than not touring.
I see. Okay.
I hope that clears that up for everybody.
Oh, it certainly will. I think so. It also depends on your point of view. I mean, some people, prefer the online, communication, through an app or whatever, but then there are other people who prefer to be more in person, more personable, and, with the music that they, get in contact with, basically. And
I'd still rather call people than type.
Yeah, exactly. The other question I was trying to get for the back to the Beatles again. I just want to ask you: is Paul dead? Paul McCartney?
Well, no. I mean, no. He's still touring. He's still doing it. His drummer actually played on Ivan in Paris, Abe Laboriel.
Yeah. You heard that rumor, right? About Paul being dead and all the clues they found on the albums and everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I remember that whole thing.
Yeah, so I was just asking your opinion about that.
No, I think he's hanging in there okay. Sir Paul, what the hell? Come on, what do you expect?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, to be able to still do that, to still sing, Dizzy Miss Lizzy or some of that rock and roll stuff he can still do, you got to hand it to him.
Oh, absolutely, I know.
What the fuck? The kid can sing.
That is true. He's kind of like, he's like Robot Man, right?
Well, he's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so, all right. What are some of your musical influences? I mean, other than we talked about already.
Well, like I said, the Beatles and the Kinks and the Who and, let's see, Randy Newman, NRBQ, Duke Ellington, Caetano Veloso, Thelonious Monk, XTC. We played those. I mean, it's just, there's zillions of them. And hopefully a lot more coming.
Yeah, I know.
Like Deerhoof, too.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you like Frank Zappa, and what do you think of his work?
To me, Frank doesn't hit me emotionally much. It's very cerebral stuff. It's very, it's witty and, but it sounds like work.
Yeah, well, he is a bit of a workaholic. That's true.
Yes. I mean, certainly, he's one of the many people that I kind of like his interviews better than his music. But there's been some good music, too.
That's true.
So,
are you like lean more toward the Mother's Invention or more toward like Zappa's solo stuff? I mean, just off the top of your head.
Well, the stuff, I was listening more when he first started out.
Oh, I see.
And, so Mothers of Invention, I mean, I saw them a few times, and we opened for them a couple of times.
Wow.
We opened for him at one point when he had Flo and Eddie in the band.
Mm-hmm.
And, the thing with what happens with Frank Zappa, if you do songs that are, if you do songs that have some humorous content, you always get compared to Frank Zappa right away because there's so few people there's so few musicians or a few bands that actually work in the humorous genre.
That is true.
So, no matter how far away you are from Frank Zappa, you get compared to him right away if you do something that's sort of funny.
Yeah.
So I end up having to explain this a lot. I have a lot of respect for him, but it's not music that's close to my heart.
I see. Well, when I was watching some of your videos, actually, Spike Jonze came to mind. I don't know if if you're particularly into Spike Jonze, but it definitely has a ring to it like that.
Well, Not particularly. Again, a fairly narrow emotional bandwidth, I'd say. But I mean, pretty hilarious. I mean, they must have been fun to see live. I'll bet.
Oh yeah, Spike Jones, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually, I have a video that it's a rather rare video of them, doing their live stuff back in the '40s there, and it's really interesting.
No kidding. I'd like to see that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them live. I'd love to see them.
Oh yeah, you really must, because it's really interesting. And like I said,
as comedy bands go, the one that I kind of enjoy, more than some was the Bonzo Dog Band.
Oh yeah, Neil Innes.
I kind of like silly more than satirical.
Definitely. I like that wacky, zany. You don't know what the guy's going to do next thing. That's really great.
Or PDQ Bach. I love PDQ Bach. He's great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or even Victor Borga. I mean, that he's another comedian musician.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, how do you go about organizing the events with your bands, such as the Chandler Travis Philharmonic, Chandler Trio, and Catbirds?
I call people constantly, and I lie as much as I can, and hopefully, if they don't know anything about us, sometimes I can get them to hire us.
I see. So you just give them a good pitch.
You have to rely on the ignorance of the person you're talking to.
Yeah, I found that to be true. In most cases.
No, you just hustle, man. You just get out there and try and hustle up jobs,
Absolutely. You just, press all the buttons. Maybe one of them means go, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay. In your view, what can be done about the homeless issue in America?
Well, I don't know. You got me at a funny time for asking that question, because we play annual Christmas concerts to benefit the homeless.
The cavalcade, yeah.
The Christmas cavalcade. So that's coming up on Sunday, and that's what I've been working on all week. And then we've got another one of those 10 days after that in the Boston one. And it certainly, I don't know, it always felt like something that made sense to think about around Christmas time for me.
Oh, definitely.
It's horrible that anyone would have to be homeless,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. Try to do your part a little bit, Try and at least think about them around holiday time if you can.
Yeah, and try to offer just a little bit of generosity whenever you can. It's hard. It's hard because sometimes they're just peddling to go and buy some liquor and get drunk, and that's not good for them. And you're helping them to hurt themselves. So it's difficult. It's for sure.
Yeah.
But play some music. Play some music for them. That'll be good.
Exactly.
Excellent. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Are there any plans for a Chandler Travis book?
No, but I'd like to write something that would focus on being an opening act, because I've been an opening act for a lot of times. So people don't do stuff with opening acts all that much anymore. But it was interesting back in the old days, and it was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I actually have done a lot of writing. I mean, I used to have a column locally in a magazine called the Cape Codder that I wrote under the name Thurston Kelp. And I think if you look at if you go to the links section of our website, you'll see something for Kelp on Cape, and that probably has a bunch of my old articles in it.
Wow, I'll definitely have to check that out. I had no idea that you were such a writer.
Well, I was for a little while. I don't really do it anymore. I did it for maybe 10 or 15 years, and I wrote for that every week, and then I wrote a little bit for a magazine called Musician at one point, and I wrote a little bit for the Boston Herald and the Boston Phoenix.
Wow, so you kind of dabbled around in a little journalism there.
Yeah, yep.
Wow, excellent. Okay, can you explain what your latest album is all about?
No.
No.
No, it's called Waving Kissy Head. What the hell could it possibly be about?
Well, go ahead.
It's not. It's just a little collection of little songs. They're just a little 3-minute thing.
I see. Well, can you elaborate on where the title came from? Because I think that's a striking title.
Well, I keep getting asked about the title, and I should try and think of something amusing to say about it, I suppose. But it really is just that the little piece of art that's on the cover was done by my friend and lyricist David Greenberger, and the title of the piece was "Waving Kissy Head." And I loved the piece, and I loved the title, so we just went with it.
I see. So actually the name of the art is Waving Kissy Head, and then you name the album after that?
Exactly.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting. What does the art depict? Is that a dog, or is that a dinosaur? I mean, it looks kind of like a cross between there.
I'd say it's a dog, but then again, I see almost everybody as dogs.
Yeah, sometimes I see them as bugs, like especially when they're in their car. Or wearing sunglasses, bugs, huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm more of a dog guy.
Yeah. Well, I think they kind of go in between, dogs, bugs, and crocodiles. It depends on, the timbre of the person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What do you think of Trump and politics in general?
Not much.
Really?
I used to not. I mean, I'm a resolutely apolitical person in general. But every now and then, some fucker like Trump will get elected that makes you go, "Oh, Jesus, maybe I should really be looking into this so nothing like this happens again." Mm-hmm. So I'd have to say I was not a big Trump enthusiast.
I see. Well, some people come up with nicknames for him. How about his original name was Drumpf? If you just take out the R, if you take out the R in that name and the F in that name, then go ahead and guess what you get.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's extremely frightening.
It is. I mean, what's frightening is that could happen. I mean, in America, of all the countries, this was supposed to be the place that, we were supposed to have, people.
On the other hand,
go ahead.
On the other hand, it's not like we haven't lived through some fairly outrageous chumps already. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. This guy kind of takes the cake, as far as I can tell. It is really. I mean, boy, I think he caught us snoozing. I don't think a lot of people just didn't, me included, just didn't think there was any chance that was actually going to happen. How could that actually happen?
Yeah, I know.
But it did, didn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's just still people waking up thinking they're still dreaming, right?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, do you think there's any... Okay. Do you think there's any kind of conspiracy?
Sure, there's lots of kinds of conspiracy.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't pay much attention to that.
Oh, really?
But, I mean, there's lots of conspiracies through history, I guess. I don't know. I'm not as much. We used to have a road manager who was sort of into, he would pop from conspiracy to conspiracy. So I know they exist, or at least I know there's people who think they exist.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, basically the conspiracy. I mean, that's also a term from the Church of the Subgenius, by the way.
Yeah. No, I don't know much about all that. Yeah. I really try not to follow the news.
That's probably a good idea, especially since it's increasingly misinformation.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Seems to be anyway. Yep. Okay. In your opinion,
it's fairly relevant as far as I can tell.
Right. In your opinion, can a woman be a leader of the nation, such as Hillary was trying to do?
Sure. Yeah, I was looking forward to that. I love the idea of having following our first black president with our first woman president. I would have loved to have seen that.
I see.
I would have been very curious to see how she would handle that. I mean, she's obviously a politician all the way, but I think she was a smart person and hopefully somewhat capable. I don't know. She was certainly the lesser of the two evils as far as I can tell.
Oh, definitely. Yep. Okay. All right. So what are your hopes for America in the year to come?
Survival.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah. I hope we live through it. We're going to live through 4 of them.
Yeah, I know. My goodness. I'm sure that we're in for some interesting times.
Yeah. No, it seems possible.
Yeah, I know.
You know, hopefully they've got it all organized now so that the president can't have too much effect on everything. But I guess we're about to find that out.
Definitely, and that's what a lot of people are saying. You know, it's like, why don't we just, including Hillary, you know, just let Trump have a chance, and let's see what he's going to do or what he's not going to do, and then, you know, call him on it whenever he does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, Chandler, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and thanks for a great interview, and it really has been a pleasure.
Well, cool. Yeah, thanks for calling, and thanks for talking it up.
Thank you so much, and you have a great rest of your day.
Okay, you too, kiddo. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Chandler.
There's Mr. Jones, he lives on my street. There's Mrs. Jones, she lives with Mr. Jones. They are the people who live right near me. What do I see? The whole world is filled with air. That's why Mr. Jones can breathe as good as Mrs. Jones. They are the people who live in my area. There will be flowers, French fries and hay, if we get away. Oh, it's Buttercup World, and it's filled with kisses and candy. It's Buttercup World, and candy comes on. It's a Buttercup World.